Very good morning to all the students of class 9th D. As you can see the board beta in front of you, we are going to start the new poem Rain on the Roof. Fine, we are left with a discussion of question answers of the last chapter, but we would be doing question answer discussion tomorrow maybe of the chapter and as well as the poem. Okay, and you would be giving answers. You will be the ones who will be speaking. Fine. And let's start with this new poem. Firstly, kindly note down the points written on the board. These points will help you better to understand this poem in a better manner. Okay, so I'm going to explain the points one by one. Then I would be sharing the screen of poem with you, and then we will do stanza-wise explanation. So, rain on the roof. Uh, how many of you like the rainy season? Just send me thumbs up quickly. I'm not going to unmute and just send me thumbs up. Many of you, Arush is saying, Charvi is saying, Ashita likes the rain. Those who are sending me thumbs up, I'm just Dharya is saying yes. So many students are raising hands. Fine. Rainy season, beta, is that season in which people are emotionally connected with this weather. Our mood totally depends upon the kind of weather. When it is scorching heat, then you people don't feel like sitting in the classrooms. Every time you're asking that may I go to drink water, may I go to, just for the sake of wandering here and there. Fine. So when it is rainy season, most of you would like to go out and get wet and enjoy the rain. So everybody has, our emotions, our response is directly connected with the weather. And if it is severely it is cold, even then you want to feel cozy. You just want to sit at the corner of by the side of fireplace or fine, and we want to enjoy the meals. So whatever weather it is, our emotions are connected. The way the weather it is, we behave accordingly. But sometimes some people, they have connected their emotions in this poem Rain on the Roof, which is written by Coates Kinney. That is the name of the poet. I would be explaining, I will be giving the introduction of the poet also. In this poem, poet has just exhibited that how rain brings happiness to the poet and how he gets lost in the dream, and so many fancies, I must say, he would be having. Fancies are imagination. Fine. Whenever I'm using a new word, you need to note down. Okay. So he will go into the fancies. Fancy means imagination. I would be just changing. I would be sharing screen soon. I would be asking you if you have noted down all the points or not. Fine. So this poem is all about poet's personal experience with the rain. He loves the pitter patter sound of soft falling shower of the rain. Clear? So he has just tried to explain rain on the roof. He's lying in the bed and he's just listening to the beautiful sound of the rain. Clear? And how he's enjoying it. He has connected some memories with it, good and bad both. And he would be reminiscing those memories. He would be thinking and remembering those memories, right? So I have written, as you can see, Rain on the Roof is written by Coates Kinney. Now, Coates Kinney was a lawyer and politician and journalist, and then he's a poet from the US. Fine. Apart from being poet only, he was a lawyer also. Fine. Lawyer, sorry, I must say, liar is the one who speaks lies. Lawyer is the one who's connected with the profession. Fine. Advocate. So he was a lawyer by profession, a politician, a journalist, and he was also a poet. Fine. And when how did he get the inspiration to write this poem? I'm going to tell you that. Actually, Kinney got an inspiration one night only, and these pieces of beautiful pieces of writings occur to our mind when we are having good time, we are silent, nobody's around. So Kinney got an inspiration one night while trying to he wanted to have sleep in his old college dormitory, and then he was just not able to sleep, and then he wrote this verse, Rain on the Roof. And out after writing this poem, he became quite famous, right? So I have just discussed about Coates Kinney, who is the poet of this poem. Fine. So he was very witty in conversation, quite intelligent person. So he wrote this poem and he became famous after that only. So that's all about Coates Kinney, a poet from USA, a politician, a journalist, fine, and by profession he was a lawyer. Now, coming back to the theme of this poem, beta, I have written clearly healing power of rain, especially when it is heard from a cozy bed in a lovely cottage. So this is what poet experienced at the time of writing. That's why he has mentioned his personal experience. So healing power of rain is mentioned, and how rain rejuvenates everything, how rain is important for us, especially when we are just lying in our bed and we are not doing anything, and sound of rain could be heard from the bed, and beautiful surroundings you are residing in. Fine. And then I have written some points here, beta. Poet is lying in bed. This is the situation. This is reality. Fine. So poet is lying in bed. Quietness of the environment disappears. How quietness of the environment disappears? He was not able to sleep. He was just thinking about casual things, and suddenly it starts raining. And when it started raining, uh, the rain on the roof creates beautiful sound. That pitter patter sound it created, and poet remembers a number of things now. As I told you, with rain, a lot of memories of people are connected. So he started remembering a lot of things we would be reading in the poem, good and bad, both memories were connected, right? Then finally, sound of rain appears to be a bliss to the poet, a blessing to the poet. Fine. So it's up to us whether we want to connect our bad memories or whether we want to connect good memories. Whatsoever it is, it's up to us. So now I would be sharing the screen, beta. I'm just checking. Send me thumbs up if my voice is audible to everyone. I'm just checking whether who is sitting there attentively, those who are listening to the teacher. This is my way of asking most of you. Where is Bhavansh? Where is Brijesh? Those who did not send thumbs up, I would be naming them. Brijesh, Bhavansh, Arshita. Okay, Bhavansh has sent. Where is Brijesh? Charvi. Okay, Arshita has also sent. Brijesh is also. Okay, fine. So I'm just checking. Sometimes students are not even there. So that's why I'm just checking whether students are listening to the teacher or not. Let me share the screen now. Yes, beta. Rain on the roof. Now would be reading in detail, and you would be better writing the word meanings also. Okay. So kindly keep your pen and pencils ready with you. I would be making you write question answers. When the sky is covered with dark clouds and it starts raining, have you ever listened to the patter of soft rain on the roof? What thoughts flashed through your mind as you heard this melody of nature? Read the poem to find out what the poet dreamed of while listening to the rain. So, poet was actually, going into fancy's imagination. I already told you. He was not sleeping. That's why they are saying they have used the word dream here, but he was more into fancy's imagination. Fine. So, this is just the brief introduction. Now you just note down the word meanings first. I'm going to explain the first stanza first and note down the beta word meanings are written on the next page of your on page 41 poem is there. On page 42 word meanings are written, but they are very few in number. They are just six word meanings from the whole poem. So you just note down from the first stanza there is one word humid. Humid means wet. W-E-T, wet. Firstly, you note down the word meaning, then I would explain. Then next word is uh, hover, H-O-V-E-R. In the very first line, first word is humid, that means wet. And then in the same line, we have word hover. It means remain in one place in the air. Remain in one place in the air, A-I-R. Then we have in second line, we have the word starry. Starry is full of stars. That is quite easy. Starry means full of stars. I can check at any time who's writing and who's not, okay? Full of stars. And then next word is, you know that what a sphere is. Fine, your math students, you know that what a sphere is. Sphere is a solid figure that is completely round with every point at an equal distance from the center. Right? Then we have the word melancholy in the third line of the same stanza. Word is melancholy. Melancholy means sadness. Sadness. After making you write the word meaning, I would explain better. Sadness. Then bliss is happiness, blessing. Fine. Bliss means happiness. In the fifth line, the word is written. Clear? And then we have a cottage is but a small hut. Cottage is small hut. And chamber is room. Chamber is room. Fine. And then patter is sounds of drops. When droplets just fall on the ground, then pitter patter sound is created. Okay. Some students are joining now. See, all the introduction part, everything is. Dipt Kirti and Gurpreet Singh. Gurpreet and Dipt Kirti, beta, kindly join Valentine. You are already too late. From tomorrow onwards, I would not allow the students who enter so late. Within 5 minutes, you are supposed to join. So we are doing Rain on the Roof, page 41. Note down the word meanings now. Fine. And better sound I told you already. Clear? And overhead is above the head. Clear? All the words I have explained to you now. Let me just explain the very first stanza. When the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. So poet here is just trying to explain the, you can say, in first two lines, he's just telling about that how wet shadows just being placed over our head, over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness. Darkness is, poets, they have connected the kind of weather, darkness with the bad parts of life and light with the good parts of life. Fine, that's why he has used the word melancholy darkness. Clear? So he just explained the poet is actually lying in the bed at this time, and humid, wet shadows hover. Here it means clouds. Fine. Clouds were hovering at one place. They were being at one place over all the starry spheres. Now, so suddenly rain doesn't come. Firstly, there is change in the weather. Clouds we can see, and then it starts raining. So over all the starry spheres, suddenly clouds start forming, and melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. So beautifully, poet has tried to say that very sad darkness, it, in a beautiful manner, in a gentle manner, Rain started falling, rain shower started reaching the ground, as if that sadness has turned into tears. Fine. This is the way of explaining only. What a bliss, what a happiness to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed. Now, cottage is small hut, chamber is room. So he is saying, what a happiness it is just to press the pillow. Fine. Hug the pillow tightly and press the pillow and lying in a small hut in a small room and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. And you could hear, you could feel the pitter patter sound of the rain falling overhead. Fine. Which poetic device is used here? Who would tell me? Anybody who can tell that which poetic device is used in this stanza, and kindly give the example also. Raise your hands, beta. Which poetic device is used? What a bliss to press the pillow. I'm just giving you the hint also. No one is there. Press the pillow. So let me tell you without wasting time. See, when a sound is repeated again and again, then we call it alliteration. Fine. When a consonant sound is repeated, that is called alliteration. Press the pillow. P sound is repeated here. Even cottage chamber, C sound is repeated, but that is k and ch, but even then we can consider it alliteration. Okay. But press the pillow is clearly it is alliteration. Clear? Now let's move to second stanza. Fine. Write down the beta word meanings. Tinkle is ringing sound. Tinkle is ringing sound. When a sound is produced of something. Ringing sound. Echo. Echo is again reflected sound. Reflected sound. When you just go to hilly area and then you just shout and you just get your voice back, that is echo sound. Fine. So echo is reflected sound. Dreamy, you know that dreamy, dream like. Fancies, I already told you the meaning. Fancies means imagination. Imagination. Then recollections. Recollections are memories. And 1,000 recollections it is written now. Recollections means memories. Weave is pattern of weaving, kuch bunna. Fine. And then last word that is written in your book itself, I guess, woof. It means threads woven across the loom. Threads woven. That is called woof. But here actually woof is directly connected to weaving, but in this woof is a word to describe a sound only. Fine. So it is connected with that. Woof. Let's start the explanation. When every tinkle on the shingles. Shingles but are rectangular wooden tiles used on roofs. Rectangular wooden. Fine, it is written in your book only shingles. So what is trying to say? Every tinkle on the shingles, every sound, when every droplet just falls on the tiles, it produces a ringing sound. When rain falls on the tiles, it produces a tinkle sound, a ringing sound. And as an effect of it, what happens? It has an echo in our heart. It produces a sound, it's a reflective sound in our heart also. When literally rain falls on the tiles, it produces some sound, and similarly that sound affects our hearts also. And 1,000 dreamy fences, and what is the outcome of that? What is the effect of that? Suddenly we go into the dream like states. Dreamy means dream like, not dreams exactly. And 1,000 dreamy fancies, 1,000 dream like imaginations into busy being start. So it enters the poet's heart, it enters the poet's mind, and he was just busy in recollecting those past moments He went into those dream-like states and imagination, and he started weaving their air threads into woof. He started the way, you know, ladies weave a pattern of sweater. Fine, I'm just giving you one example. Similarly, when poet hears the sound of the rain, pitter patter sound, it creates an echo in his heart, and he starts weaving his dreams, his imaginations, fine, into just like threads are just woven into some pattern. Similarly, his memories, his recollections, his past experiences, he started recollecting them, and he started weaving a pattern out of it, and he just started describing a pattern out of it. Here he starts weaving a pattern of memories into his mind, into his imagination. As I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. When does this happen? When he listens to the pitter patter sound of the rain. Is it clear? You have already noted down all the points. So at last, I would be taking the doubts, Veda, if you would be having. Last stanza is, now we would be getting to know what happens, what sort of memories are connected. In the beginning, I told you, he was having good and bad memories, and what sort of memories he was having, we would know. So firstly, write down the meanings, Beta. Agone, A-G-O-N-E, past time. And the second line, last word is there. Here's agone. Agone here means past time, which is past. Then we have E-R-E. It means before. The fourth line, first word is there. She left them till the dawn. Means before. Dawn is beta early morning period. D-A-W-N. Dawn is early morning period. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I list of this refrain. Now, next word is shingles. Shingles are small round stones. Shingles are small round stones. Refrain is the repeated part of a song or a poem here. When a line is repeated or a phrase is repeated again and again, that is called refrain. Okay, all the meanings are clear to everyone. Now, poet is trying to say, now in memory comes my mother. Whenever he listens to the pitter-patter sound, lying in the cottage room, chamber of the small hut, he's lying on the bed, pressing the pillow, and he's having the loving, fond memories of his mother, as she used in years ago. In the past years, he started having those past loving memories, right? To regard the darling dreamers as she left them till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I listen to this refrain, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. So poet is, see that he's trying to he's missing his mother actually. So he's saying from in the past years also, I have missed my mother in the years ago, before years, she would come in my dreams. Fine. She used to come in her dreams, in his dreams. And now at the time of when he hears the sound of the rain, even again, his memories got afresh. Again, he's thinking about his mother. Fine. To regard the darling dreamers. Now, most of the times there's a question that who are darling dreamers? Darling dreamers, again, poetic devices used here, beta, alliteration. Here, alliteration is used here in darling dreamers. And who are called darling dreamers actually? Poet himself and his siblings, his brother, sister. To regard means to respect. Means whenever they would miss, because mother is no more now, whenever they would miss their mother, she would come in their dreams to respect their memories. So that's why poet is saying the darling dreamers. Poet and his siblings are called darling dreamers here. As she left them till the dawn. Them means all of them. Poet along with his brother, sister, siblings. Right? So is saying that he is just now, feeling the past memories of his mother, that how she left them till the dawn, means early morning period I told you, but here he's trying to say that quite early my mother left all of us. I feel her fond look on me. Fond is very loving, mothers are always loving towards their babies. So he's trying to say I always miss her, and I miss the way she would look at me and look at my brother and sister. Fine. And even when they were asleep, when poet and his siblings they would sleep, mother would wake up and she would just look at the children with loving eyes, you can say, with loving attitude. She would just look at them and how they were sleeping. So this is poet is trying to say, as I list to this refrain, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. So he is writing those lines when he himself was lying over there in portal chamber, and when all those pitter patter sounds could be heard by falling upon the tiles. Fine. And then he is just missing his fond memories of his mother. Memories are not always bad. Bad is what is I have written on the board. You have already noted down that good and bad memories. Bad memories when because he has lost his mother, that is bad. And good, the way she would take care of the kids, how she would look at them when they were asleep. Darling dreamers. Now, dreamer, who's a dreamer? A person who dreams. So when all the children, poet and his brother, sisters, sibling, they would fall asleep and they were lost in their own dreamy affairs, dreamy lives. And then at that time, even in the early morning period, she would wake up and she would just have a look of their kids, of her kids, and how they were asleep. Fine. So that's why poet is having those fainted memories now. That how his mother would look at them affectionately, lovingly, and how loving she was, how caring she was for the children. So he's actually missing his mother. Clear? Any doubt to anyone, beta? You can ask me. Just okay. First word of fourth paragraph. Fourth paragraph is not even there. Dhairya Chatta. There are three paragraphs in this poem. Error means before. Okay. Right? Error means before. Let me just, yes. Anybody can unmute and ask if any query is there.